want to share just a few things with y'all today. Let me encourage you. So last year, I had went to a service at a different church, different location, and the pastor, right before we let out, the pastor released a word to me. And in the word, the pastor told me, he said, the Lord was giving me a new dance. He said, the Lord is giving you a new praise. And he was just being obedient to the voice of God, but I understood what it meant after the service. Because, sometimes people will release a word to you and it won't click until you leave, right? But I had went through some very intense warfare. I had been attacked very, very mightily. And I'm sharing all this today because you have to understand, when the Lord gives you a new dance, when the Lord gives you a new praise, that thing does something to the enemy. When the Lord, you won't even be able to be detected. When the Lord gives you a new dance, when he gives you a new praise, it increases you on different levels. It increases you in the supernatural. It puts on new weapons for you. It puts on new armor for you. When the Lord gives you a new dance and a new praise, you won't even be able to be detectable. When you walk past people, they won't even recognize you. And I'm telling y'all today that when I went through that warfare and the man released that word over me and he began to anoint my head, I understood in that moment that the Lord had already elevated me, that the Lord had already increased me. Think about David in the Bible when they say how David danced. David was a worshiper. And I want to encourage you that even through your storms, you can't rush the process. This is the reason why I was sharing the story, because I wanted to rush so many things that the Lord was doing, but I had to endure the warfare. I had to endure the pain. I had to endure the storm. In order to get to where the Lord needed me to be, in order for God to catapult me, I had to endure it. And in that one night, this is what happened to me. I was sitting, I was actually in my bathroom, I remember, and I had just got out the shower. And as soon as I hit the floor, I began to dance and I began to move. And it came back to me, the words that the man began to release over me. He said that dance that I was going to get was going to break chains. It was going to be a new me, because I was always one of those type of people. Well, I'm not doing this in church. I'm trying to be cute. No, let me tell you something. Your praise is a weapon. Your shout is a weapon. Your worship is a weapon. I need you to hear me today. It's a weapon. And you got to understand that whatever you go through, when the Lord begins to change you, when he begins to switch stuff up, you have already elevated. Because that means you have went through the endurance. You have went through the storm. You have went through the pain. And when the man released that word over me, something shifted that day. And I'm telling you, it was in my belly. I couldn't even stay still. The women around me began to circle around me. The women in the church began to circle around me. And the fire of God was in that place. But I knew from that day, the Lord had restored me. See, sometimes when we go through warfare, we think that we're supposed to stay where we're at. We think that it takes us to a lower place. No, it elevates you. And I'm telling y'all, when the Lord begins to give you a new praise, you'll know how to come out of that fire and you won't be touched. You'll know how to come out of the fire and you won't get hit. You'll know how to come out of the fire and still praise him. So I want to encourage you. Don't rush God's process. When you're going through something, it's elevating you. When you're going through something, it's strengthening you. When you're going through something, it's maturing you in the spirit. When you're going through something, it's increasing your hindsight. When you're going through something, it's increasing your ears. When you're going through something, you are growing. When you're going through something, you are growing. Hear me. When you're going through something, you are growing. And don't rush God's process, because there is something that the Lord is doing on the inside of you as you're going through something. You're not just going through, but you're growing through. And I just want to encourage y'all, and I pray that that story helps you, that the what you go through only grows you. You guys have a happy Tuesday, and I pray that your week is peaceful. Y'all have a good